What's up, guys? I got hopefully a fairly quick video for you guys today. The burnt oil smell, or the burning oil smell, is back in the BMW. I kind of freaked out at first. I thought that the valve cover gasket sprung the leak again. I've searched everywhere. I can't find it leaking. There's no oil on top of the spark plugs, the coil packs, anything. So we're in luck there. But what I did notice, that the oil cartridge cap did look like it was leaking, so I cleaned it up, took it out, drove it for a few days, got on it pretty hard because that's when I could smell it, and that amazing smell came back. So pulled the car in, popped the hood, and sure enough, it is leaking. So what I'm gonna go ahead and do is drain the oil out of it, and then we're gonna take a look to see if either the O-ring gasket on the cap is broken or the cap itself's broken. I ordered a new cap and gasket anyway because I'm doing an oil change, and just in case it was the cap and not only the O-ring gasket, I wanted to be covered. So I'm gonna drain the oil, then show you guys where we're at. So I got a little ahead of myself and started cleaning it up, but you guys can see down in there, well, if I can get the flashlight, right there. You can see where the oil was pooling up and it's just running all down the front of this. Now I was concerned that it was this gasket, but we're just gonna hope and pray that it's the cap or the cap's gasket. Also, I'm not sure if you guys can see, that little green mark right in this area. When you put the cap back on, there's gonna be another green, it's usually green or blue on the actual housing, and you only want to tighten it up to that point right there. Don't go past that. So let's get the cap out and check her out. Well guys, I couldn't find any cracks in the housing itself, but you can kind of see that gasket, the O-ring gasket, is flush. Looks a little blowed out to me. I don't know if it's the camera's picking it up or not. We'll get the other one for comparison. See how that's raised up? So it actually makes a seal. What I think is the dealership didn't actually change out these rings when we were having them do the oil changes. And you guys can kind of see right there that there's dirt in the oil. So I'm assuming that dirt was getting down in there. So that's great for the engine and turbos. So I'm just going to change the cap out entirely with the new O-ring and everything. Call it good. So before I put the cap and filter back on, I did want to mention that you do want to make sure you have the oil filter support in the cap. Some dealerships actually just pull this and toss it if it doesn't come out. Thankfully they didn't on the last one, it was still there. And I am going with the K&N filter. Most people go with a MAN, but no one in town had the MAN filters, so I got a K&N. New cap and filter have been installed. I cleaned up the housing best I could. I did notice that putting the new cap on, it did give it a lot more resistance. I actually had to use the tool to get it on. The old one I could just spin on with my hand, so that's giving me hope. So what we're gonna do is, once the air filters are done drying, I'll get those put back in and we'll go out, get on it a bit for a little while, and hopefully that smell doesn't come back. So it's the next day, guys. We drove around last night, did some errands, got on it. I've been driving it for the better part of the day today. Just did errands, whatever, got on it a few good times, just to the point to where like you could really smell it at first. And we're looking dry. I was really worried that it was that gasket right there for the housing, because that is a nightmare to change. So I'm just gonna go ahead and call this a win. Yeah, everything looks dry, everything looks good from what I cleaned last night. Normally it would have already been covered if I got on it that hard in the first place. So don't freak out right away and expect the worst, just do some investigating. And hopefully it's something as simple as that. But I hope you guys learned something. If you guys have any questions, like always, feel free to comment below. And thank you for watching. Have a good day.